All right, guys. Yeah, look, another it's good practice today. Love the energy, love the effort. Guys are out here working hard and getting better. It's good back and forth in today's practice. So stacking days.
Are you, based on what we saw of Michael Thomas today, are you confident? Will he do anything in minicamp?
I think it probably still remains to be seen. If he does anything, I wouldn't expect it to be a lot. Our focus is getting him ready for training camp. And I think that's where myself, him, really our whole organization, that's really what our focus is, getting him ready to go for training camp. So I like where he's at.
Do you feel like in camp that he'll be able to do everything that he needs to do?
That's our hope and our expectation. So, I wish I had the crystal ball to say exactly what he'll be ready to do, but I think all our energy is focused on, getting him ready to go in training camp, and we're excited about it. Mike's an important, piece to our offense, and when he's playing at the level that he's capable of playing at, we're a much better offense.
How much significance do you place on when a guy of his stature shows up and does whatever he can do in a voluntary situation like this? Is it?
Yeah, look, Mike's always been a great team guy, and we kind of had this plan kind of mapped out where he was going to focus on his rehab. He's got a lot of people that he works with to help him get himself right and get him hopefully ready to go in training camp. So it's great to have him back out here.
Following up on that, what can it do for the team just to see a guy like that roll out to practice, though, when he doesn't have to be here?
Look, I think everybody feels that energy when he's here, and so I think it's important for him to be here, and he wants to be here, and he's excited about what we can potentially do this season.
And yeah, Blake had a good inning to practice there. What can you kind of say for him so far? His kicker.
Yeah, look, he's kicking the ball well, and so I feel like we got two really good kickers. I think there's going to be some great competition throughout training camp, and I'm excited to watch it play out.
I know you kind of elaborated on it already, but when a guy like that, a number player, how critical is he to what you're trying to do this year?
Well, I think he's a big part of it. I think I've said, on multiple occasions that we missed his ability to make the contested catch, those third and short, third and mediums down there in the red area. I mean, that's a guy that keeps drives alive. It's a guy that scores touchdowns. So having him healthy, I think, is a big part of, hopefully our success.
How much have you already seen the communication between Derek Carr and the wide receivers progress in these?
I think it's been awesome. I think it's been great to see. I think Derek's done a really good job, and I think our receivers have done a heck of a job. And so, he kind of raises the expectation of what, those guys have to be able to do. And there's a certain position that he wants them to be in and a certain way that he wants them to run the routes. And I think our guys have worked really well together to try to build that chemistry.
Is he progressing quicker maybe than you expected? With the bonding?
Well, look, it's still a process. We're not where we need to be. I like the direction that we're headed, but there's still a lot of things that we have to work on, a lot of things that we have to improve on, and fortunately for us, we got some time to get there.
Dennis, I saw Brian Brzee got some first-team snaps. Can you tell anything on his progress in contact drills this week?
Yeah, look, I mean, here's what you know. You know that he's obviously a big physical talent. He's got some suddenness and some quickness inside that maybe we haven't had in the last few years. We've had a lot of good power players, but he has a little bit of an element of quick twitch that I think we can utilize.
And what about Peyton Turner? Is there anything you can tell from what you were hoping he'd work on from last season?
Look, again, with a lot of these guys, they're out here every day and they're working, and they're continuing to get better. And Peyton's no different than any of the other guys. And I think really for all of this, I don't think this is about trying to make a final evaluation on anything. This is just how am I getting better each day that I come out here. And I think all of our guys are working to do that.
What's the biggest thing he needed to work on besides improved health, though?
Well, I think that's number one. It's really hard to make an assessment because he hasn't been available enough, and so he certainly has the talent. And so it's really about being out here and being able to be available every day.
And Jay, when y'all went back and looked at the film from last year and like creating turnovers, was there anything in particular that you all could pinpoint on why that was an issue?
No, look, I think there's a lot of factors that go involved in that. One, I think we have to make more of an emphasis on attacking the football and have more awareness of how we can take the ball away. I think that's a big part of it. And look, a lot of takeaways come when you get out to good leads. You're able to kind of rush the passer and create a little bit more havoc in terms of the quarterback, force them to make some bad decisions, and then you got to be able to take advantage of it when they do. So more bad things can happen when teams are having to throw the ball against you than if they're able to just line up and try to run it.
Yeah, you guys are going into the 6th year now. What's your expectations for Traquan Smith? It seems like he's playing out there with a lot of emotion, a lot of
Look, I
passion.
think Traquan's another one of those guys that over the last couple of years, man, he's had to do a lot of the dirty work, and I don't know that he has been at full health for the last couple of years. I think he's healthy right now, and so I see him being a valuable piece of what we're trying to get accomplished. And look, I think there's going to be some good competition in that receiver room.
You guys are one of the 4 teams that could be forced on the Hard Knocks. How would you just feel about that if it was the Saints?
I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Why not?
Because I just want to focus on our football team and getting better. And any distractions are exactly that. They're just distractions that keep you from ultimately reaching your goal.
Dennis, you have.
Last year, you weren't very good in the fourth quarter scoring points, one of the lowest in the league. Does the quarterback automatically fix that, or is some other things? Maybe is that one of the reasons why you drafted Kendre, signed Jamal to be better inside the 10-yard line?
I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. That's not a one position. You solve the one position, you feel like, okay, now all our problems go away. I mean, offensively we got to execute better in those situations. And so, look, I'm not looking at Derek as a savior. I think he's a valuable piece to what we're doing, and I think he's going to help us be better. But there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle.
Is power running game in the red zone, big people who can stick it in there? Is that kind of one of the things that you thought that you needed to acquire?
Well, we certainly feel like adding the big back is something that we really haven't had the last couple of years. And again, look, anytime we can take some of those hits off of Alvin, I think is going to help us. And so, the more depth that you can build, I think the better you're going to be.
Dennis, you had some one-on-one time with Alontae Taylor. I know you said OTAs are just for evaluation. It's not a finished product, but how have you seen him progress kind of in that slot role and becoming more of a versatile cornerback?
Yeah, I think it's a learning process for him. Look, I think certainly over the course of this OTA period, there's been some really good things. There's been some periods of some frustration just because it's new to him, But the more you can do, the more spots that you can play, the more versatile you are, the more ways that we can envision being able to utilize those players. And so, at the end of the day, we're going to have to figure out what's our best 11 to put out there on the field, and how do we deploy those 11 that give us the best chance to play good on offense or defense.
I noticed too, Colston Adiba wasn't out there today. Was there a reason for that?
No.
When you guys get everybody back, will Taysom still be in the tight end room, or?
Yeah. Nothing's going to change for his role as we see it right now.
How have you felt about the progress of DeMarco Jackson after missing last year?
Yeah, I think it's been encouraging. He's still learning every single day, so there's still some young player mistakes, but I see a more confident player now than where we were at this time last year.
Do you feel like he's a little bit more? I mean, it looks like he's playing more of an off-ball role than an on-ball role. Is that the vision for him?
Yeah, that would be accurate. He's really been focused in on the Mike position, and look, he's done a nice job of managing the huddle. I mean, that's part of the whole deal, is being able to get the calls and be able to get everybody lined up, and so we can all execute. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.